G'day, well it's Saturday morning here in Melbourne and it's pretty cool, it's only about 12 degrees. And what I'm going to do this weekend, travelling with my two sons, we're going to travel up to the Murray. It's a round trip of about 1600 kilometres. We're going to try and do it in 36 hours. Anyway, get back before it's dark tomorrow night. And going to travel to 3 destinations which have all got a story to tell themselves. And they're not very well known areas, but they've all got a bit of a quirk to them. And so the first one's Barmah, which is on the border of New South Wales and Victoria over near Echuca. It's only about a 3-hour drive. We'll get there for lunch and I'll tell you a bit about it when we get there. Then we're going to head over to Mildura to stay overnight, which is another 5-hour drive from after lunch. Then get up early tomorrow morning. We're going to travel to Wentworth, which is the area where the Murray River and the Darling River meet up. So we're going to explore that a tiny bit, and then we're going to travel on a bit further from there to a place called McCabe's Corner, where South Australia, Victoria and New South Wales meet up. It's not easy to get to. We're going to have to do the last 4 kilometres on foot. And but anyway, you can come along for the ride. I'm going to show you a bit on the map of where we're going, and then after that I'll meet you in the car. Okay, enjoy the trip. Okay, so here I am on the trusty old Google Maps, and just give you a bit of an idea of what we're going to do over the next 36 hours. Starting off here in Melbourne, going to end up here on the border of South Australia, New South Wales and Victoria. Now I'll just zoom in. So there's 3 destinations I want to see along the border. That's part of the challenge. First, we're going to end up here in Barmah for lunch today. So hopefully we get there around 12 o'clock. And the reason I want to go to Barmah, everyone knows the border of New South Wales and Victoria is the Murray River, but Barmah is the only pub in Victoria that sits north of the Murray. So you look south and you're looking into New South Wales. So anyway, I want to go there to experience that. And then we're going to head up here to Wentworth, which is where the Murray River and the Darling River join up. So we're going to explore that, and great part of geographical Australia, I suppose. And then going to go to a very rarely known place called McCabe's Corner, which is where South Australia, Victoria and New South Wales meet up. If I zoom in here and I'll show you the border here. So you see the border here, it runs down here and then it juts out a bit here and then comes back down here again. So when they were marking the border in the 1840s or 50s, obviously things weren't like they are now, and they got a bit off course, and it has remained that way. I'll tell you a little bit more when we get there, hopefully. But you can only get the car to about here, and I think you have to walk the rest of the way, which is about 4 kilometres. And that's only if it's dry. It's very swampy land around there, and apparently a lot of the time it is underwater. And a lot of the people I've seen who have got there by boat. We haven't got a boat. Hopefully it's dry enough we can walk there. But anyway, it's part of the challenge, and you can come along and join us for the ride and see how we go. So here I am, I'm in the car. I've been relegated to the back seat. 2 sons are in the front, wouldn't let me in the front, so I'm in the back seat. And we're starting our travel challenge up to the Murray River. And hopefully we're back here in Melbourne in 36 hours. Anyway, we're on the way to Barmah first. If I see anything interesting along the way, I'll let you know. And anyway, we'll see you in Barmah. So, g'day, after 3 hours in the car, we've made it up here to the Murray River, which is behind me here. Now I'm actually standing on the north bank of the Murray, and behind me there is actually New South Wales, believe it or not. The way the river bends around, it's so directly south of me is New South Wales, which is sort of a strange sort of a thing, as New South Wales is north of Victoria. But anyway, it's a good little quirk, and as everyone knows, the Murray is the border, and yeah, so that's just the way it's worked out up here. So anyway, I'm glad I've done it now. I'm actually standing north of the Murray, but still in Victoria. G'day, and just to prove I'm not telling fibs, I've got the old little compass out. You see north there is to the left and to the south is on the right hand side, and if I look up over that side, there's the Murray. And looking south over the Murray there, over the border, is New South Wales. So yeah, so it's just a nice little quirk in the way the river bends around. Yeah, so there's my first challenge out the way on the old border adventure here on the Murray. So it's nearly 12 o'clock, so we're going to go and get some lunch in the pub here, and then we've got about 5 hours drive in front of us. But anyway, I'm glad I got the first one down. The next two are going to be a bit harder tomorrow, and but anyway, like I said, we're going to go to the pub now and get a meal, and we'll see you there. Now, long before this bridge was put up behind me here in Barmah, you used to be able to cross the river on a thing called a punt, which is an old flatbed sort of boat which was pulled on a cable across the river. Anyway, I'll show you the punt. It's still here now. It's in pretty ruinous state, but it's got a bit of good history about it as well. Yeah, so here's the old punt that used to be dragged across the river, or pulled across the river, and yeah, down across there, and I suppose over to the other side. And there's an actual bit of a historical thing marker down there. Actually says Ned Kelly and his gang actually came over on this punt in 1879, and on their way up to Jerilderie, where they robbed the bank. They actually played cards in the pub up here too, apparently. So anyway, it's a great little bit of history. So here we are in the Barmah pub, just waiting for our meals, and just noticed a few things that were quite interesting. I'll show you around. Righto, so we've had our lunch here at the Barmah pub. 3 great meals, and shout out to the barman in there and the girls who cooked the meal. It was magnificent. So yeah, I had a bangers and mash, Harrison had a Scotch fillet, and Fraser had a Parma, and we're all leaving satisfied. So now we've got a 5-hour trip on the road to Mildura, and anyway, we'll see when we get up there. So we've made it up to Mildura. It's been a long drive, but it probably took us about 9 hours, 10 hours from Melbourne to get up here via Barmah, where we had lunch. And yeah, we'll do the other 2 challenges tomorrow. We've got it up here, so it's our base for the night, and we'll be able to do the 2 challenges hopefully tomorrow. I'm not sure about the 3rd one. Could be a bit flooded up there, I'm not sure. The river's pretty high at the moment. So anyway, we'll see how we go, and going to go out now for some tea and have a few beers, and start fresh in the morning, and we'll see you then. Hello and good morning from Mildura. It's only about 6:30, sun's just coming up, and we're about to jump in the car and start the 2nd leg of our border challenge. We're going to head off to Wentworth this morning and just explore a bit around the Murray and Darling, where they join up there, and get something to eat probably along the way as well. But anyway, we're going to jump in the car. You can join us for the little trip over to Wentworth, and see you when we get there. So here we are, we've made it to Wentworth on the junction of the Murray River and the Darling, which is there behind me. And Harrison, he's a bit of a drone expert, he's got the drone up, so we should get some pretty good footage. There's some really good history around here too. So anyway, we'll have a look around and tell you a bit about the history as well. So here's a real interesting little plaque of 2 blokes in 1838 who were driving cattle from Albury to Adelaide, which is a long way, and they actually crossed the river here at the junction of the Murray and the Darling. And if you look over there, it must be nearly 500 metres across there. So whether the river was lower at that stage, I'm not sure, but it's a good effort anyway. But yeah, it's got a little bit of history. So here's some really interesting information about floods here in Wentworth. I mean, you've got the two main rivers, and yeah, 1956, both rivers, the Murray and the Darling, both flooded at the same time and flooded the whole town. But by the looks of this, it's flooded quite often. So there we go, there's challenge number 2 down. We wanted to get here to the junction of the Murray and the Darling. We've made it. We've had a look around and got some good drone footage as well. And now we're going to go on to our third challenge, which is getting to the border of New South Wales, South Australia and Victoria. And it's not going to be easy. I hope we can do it. I'm not sure, but we're going to give it a go. Anyway, we'll see when we get there. So we've made it this far on our little trek towards McCabe Corner. We've got about a 5k walk in front of us. We can't go any further with the car. The road's just out up there. So anyway, we'll going to start walking and see how we go. I'm not sure if we're going to make it or not, but we're going to give it a go. There's a couple of kangaroos in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, we'll keep walking. So we're walking along. We started to hit the tree line, so maybe the river might be coming up sooner or later. I've had the drone up and there's a fair bit of water laying around, so we don't know how far we're going to be able to get. We'll just keep tracking, see how we go, and if we've got to turn back, we'll turn back, but we're determined to make it. Righto, we're walking on. I think the Murray's down in that direction through all those trees, but we're not going to walk through all that scrub. It says we've got about 2.8 k's to go to get to McCabe Corner, and hopefully, we had the drone up before. Look, there's a bit of water laying around. Hopefully not too much. We can actually get there. And that'll be the third leg of the challenge done. And it's definitely the hardest. I'm huffing and puffing here. And anyway, we'll keep trekking along. G'day. Here's our first sign of the Murray there on our right. And we've still got 2.2 k's to get to McCabe's Corner, apparently. And anyway, we've got this far, so it's great. And there's been a few little gullies full of water. Doesn't look like it's up too high. So at the moment, looks like we might be able to get there. So let's hope. Anyway, we'll keep plodding on. G'day, here we are. I think we're still on our journey. I think we've made it to the last hurdle. This gully is often full of water. And so if this is full, you can't get through on foot. So anyway, it's dry at the moment, which is great for us. And I'm not sure, there's tracks going everywhere here. It's hard to find where you're going, but we're going to get over towards the river and just keep walking till we can find it. Anyway, we'll hopefully see when we get there. So behind me is the last gully I think I need to cross to try and find this McCabe's Corner. A lot of the time it's full of water, and what I've read online and all that sort of thing, it's if it's full of water you can't get to McCabe's Corner. So anyway, I'm lucky enough that it is. I just got to keep plodding on and hopefully I'll find it. So there you go, I've made it here to McCabe Corner. I can't believe I actually got here. It's really off the beaten track. There's no real path to show you how to get here. And anyway, Fraser and Harrison couldn't come. They've only got runners on. So walking through the bush, they were getting bindies and all sorts stuck on their feet. So anyway, I got here and I'm wrapped, and I just got to make it back now. Yeah, so for some reason, well, not some reason, probably back in those days, in the 1840s, I think it was, the border was supposed to come down in a straight line down South Australia, and when it hit Victoria, but anyway, it's 3.6 k's out. So here's a great view of the river from up near the border, the three borders. So it's beautiful up here. There's no one around, and yeah, absolutely magnificent. Yeah, so this border, it was out by 3.6 kilometres, so it actually runs up the Murray there for 3.6 kilometres and then heads south again. But yeah, I mean, it was surveyed in 1850, and I know people bought the land, and South Australia, Victoria didn't want to give it back, and I don't know, there's a whole story behind it. It's probably too hard to explain while I'm standing here out in the middle of nowhere. But anyway, that's challenge number 3 down, and it was hard, and it was, look, but it's a great feeling being here, actually, because it's very rare that people get out here. I think people will probably say, oh yeah, I've been there, but it is not easy to get to, believe me. There's tracks going everywhere, and basically no tracks to get here. And I was just going through bush and found it by accident. So Anyway, I'm wrapped, I made it, and I'll sign off now from the border of Victoria, New South Wales and South Australia, even though South Australia is 100 metres out in the border there. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and see you in the next video. G'day, so here I am, I'm back in Melbourne after completing my border challenge of the 3 challenges I put in front of myself. And so just a bit of a review of what we did. So it was a 36-hour trip. We travelled 1,600 kilometres, and we got to the 3 destinations up in Barmah, the Murray-Darling Junction, and McCabe Corner. So we got them all done in the 36 hours, and it was a great trip. And I tell you what, the McCabe Corner one, it was one of the best things I think I've ever done in my life. It was almost like being an early explorer. We were under-equipped. We didn't have a 4-wheel drive, so we drove in as far as we could. Still had 5.5 k's to get there, where we dropped the car off, so we had to do the rest on foot. We didn't have a boat, where apparently it is easy to get there by boat, but so anyway, we were underprepared. We didn't know if it was wet. On Google Earth, the image that got on Google Earth of that area, the whole area is underwater. And so we didn't know what to expect. And anyway, it was dry. And but the paths and everything up there, there's nothing signposted, nothing. I mean, trying to get McCabe Corner, it's basically, for me, it was a lucky guess to even get there. So you have got paths, but they go off in every direction. And, you know, some of them are overgrown. And I did read somewhere online, some bloke put up about a month or 2 ago about a gully being dry at the time. So when I was going on the path, I come across a gully which I thought he was talking about, and then there was another gully after that, and they were dry and they were sandy based, so they weren't too bad. But then I come across a third one, and it was overgrown, like you wouldn't believe. You could not get through it. And I knew I was only about 200 metres from the Murray, and I thought, geez, this McCabe's Corner must be somewhere. And could not get through, and I thought, oh geez, I'm not going to get there. Anyway, I thought, bugger it, I've come this far, I'm going to give it a go. So I started trekking down in this gully through all the trees, and there was no path. You were just walking through whatever. And coming from the city, you're just not used to that. And everything looks like a snake. It's unbelievable. Anyway, I got to the other side. I don't know how, but I did, and ended up on the edge of the Murray. And I had a look around, and probably to about 30, 40 metres over to the left of me, I could see this little marker. I could see the marker for McCabe Corner. And I was absolutely wrapped, so I got over there as quick as I could. And anyway, I was really chuffed with getting there. It was, like I said, it was a great experience. I really enjoyed it. But then I had to get back, which was another 5.5 k's, and I had to go through that. I couldn't even find the way I went through in the first place. I had to go through another way. It was a real challenge, but I made it. And I just like to say to anyone else who tries it, I mean, boat would be the easiest way. And but going by foot, you could see. Probably, I don't know when was the last person who got there by foot, but it was a long time ago, because there was nothing marked, no paths. So anyway, I enjoyed the weekend, got through the challenge, and anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and the coming along with me for the walk and the challenges. And if you liked it, give me a thumbs up, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.